Alabama's recruiting run continued yesterday. They expect a big-time commitment today. The Vols get 3 commits. We've got a lot to talk about here on the Portal Podcast.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back to the Portal Podcast, where you get your daily recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I'm your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football writer and recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. A lot of recruiting going on right now, as this is literally the busiest week of the year for commitments. We're a ways from signing day, but all the official visits are pretty much done. We're in the dead period. It's announcement time. Bama, Tennessee, Georgia, Michigan, BYU, you name a program. They're expecting somebody to commit within the next 48, 72 hours probably. Some schools, they were patient. They're going to get even more commitments. Just depends on the program. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Going to talk about decommitments, why that's a thing right now. And we're going to finish up with a few comments in regards to some future opportunities for commitments. Let's get started with some recent news. Kentucky flips Denarius Gray from Auburn, and I want to use that as a theme. You're going to see a few flips in general. He's a wide receiver from Chaminade Madonna, the same high school Jeremiah Smith is from. Sometimes kids just feel more comfortable with a certain situation, NIL, whatever it is. If your school loses a player, it's unfortunate, but note, I tell every fan base the same thing. Expect at least 3 guys to be added as flips and 3 guys to go the other direction over any given calendar year. That's minimal. Recruiting is very fluid in today's world, so keep that in mind. Now on to the commitments. Alabama gets another commit on the board. I believe they're closing in on 10 in a 2-week span. It's pretty impressive. The most recent commitments, they're all really good players. Trying to pick which guy is like, quote unquote, the best player is really, really hard. But the latest is Owen Cabell out of CPA in Nashville. He's a wide receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds. Crimson Tide are expected, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, to get another commitment today at least, if not more. They are really rolling right now. Hayden Chambers out of Fort Payne, Alabama, commits to Mississippi State. He is a kicker. Georgia gets Preston Carey, the long drawn-out recruitment for one of the top defensive linemen in the country. He goes to Georgia. He's from the state of New York originally. He plays at IMG Academy, 6'4", 300 pounds. Preston Carey could probably play nose guard, or he could play defensive end in a 3-4. Really good fit for the Georgia Bulldogs. Arthur Lewis IV, running back, going to UCF. He's from Bartram Trail, one of the better programs in the Jacksonville area. UCF gets a good running back. We got BYU getting Koli Akina out of Orem, Utah. I probably mispronounced that, but my apologies if I did. Wide receiver, 6'2.5", 200 pounds. He's going to play for the Cougars. Ole Miss gets J.C. Anderson. They dip into Illinois again. Get the tight end, 6'6", 240 pounds. He will be a Rebel. Michigan gets Julian Walker as their incredible defensive line. Recruiting haul continues. He's out of Dutch Fork, South Carolina, or Dutch Fork High School in Irmo, South Carolina, 6'6", 252. I think Michigan's trying to keep up with USC now and all the commitments. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up with the best D-line class in the country. Rhett Gray, Weatherford, Texas, offensive tackle, 6'7", 290. He stays home. That is the greater Dallas area. He's going to play for the TCU Horned Frogs. Javonte Williams, the Bullis School, Potomac, Maryland. That's a tight end, 6'4", 215 pounds, going to play for the Maryland Terrapins. Braylon Ellison, interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 285, out of Boonville, Missouri. He's going to play for the Missouri Tigers. We've got Amari Johnson out of Jackson Academy, a corner. He finally makes his decision, 6'1", 180 pounds. He will be a North Carolina Tar Heel. And then we got the run for the Tennessee Volunteers. It's really impressive. Darian Albert, another kid out of Jackson Academy, defensive lineman, 6'2", 305 pounds. He will be a Vol. TJ White, one of the best interior linebackers in the country. This is a kid that's a thumper. He's 230 pounds. Jackson Academy's got some players now. Tennessee picks him up. And then Jamin Theodore, Baylor School in Chattanooga. He's also going to be a ball, 6 foot, 170 pounds. That's a great day, man. I don't know the last time Tennessee got 3 commits in one day, but Jamie and Theodore adding it up to number 3 for the day. That's pretty impressive for the Vols. Mason Lewis, cornerback, 6 foot, 195 pounds. He's going to play for Cal. He's out of Basha High School in Chandler, Arizona. We've got Washington getting Azeo Tokyo out of Oceanside, California. Linebacker, 6'4", 220 pounds. Colorado Buffaloes get Colby Johnson out of Eastlake High School in Sammamish. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Washington, 6'2", 195 pounds. We got Vanderbilt getting Trip Skews out of Kent Denver School. He's from Englewood, Colorado. Offensive tackle, 6'7", 300 pounds. DeQuavius Beck out of Carthage, one of the better programs in East Texas. Linebacker, 6'1", 215 pounds. He will be an Aggie. Cameron McHaney, big-time defensive lineman out of IMG Academy. Another big guy decides to come off the board from IMG. He's going to Indiana. He's originally from Indianapolis, so Cameron McHaney's going home. Kelvin Oba from Fruitland, Idaho. He's going to play for Utah. Offensive tackle, 6'5", 265. Really good player. Top 200 prospect by 24/7. Peter Bonnet out of Avonworth High School in Pittsburgh, PA. He's going to go play for Navy. I like giving the academies a little love once in a while. 6'5", 285. He will be a part of the midshipmen. Nathan Agiman out of Kell High School in Marietta. He's going to play tight end for Georgia Tech. He is 6'5", 230 pounds. McKinley McShann, Arkansas State. Grayson, another kid from the Atlanta area. Grayson's one of the best programs in the country. 6'3", 210 pounds. He is going to play for Arkansas State. Keyshawn Eliezer out of Southeast Raleigh, edge player. I think this kid's going to need a year or two. Really athletic, but he's thin. But he's going to Stanford. They're trying to rebuild. Good for him. He's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Alabama gets Brian Williams, another receiver. The First Academy in Orlando. He just transferred there from Lake Mary High School, 6'4", 185 pounds. Former Hooper. It's really went all in on football. A lot of upside, but he's a kid that a lot of people probably didn't think would end up there, but Bama gets another kid at wide receiver. Denarius Gray, I already mentioned, he picked Kentucky after flipping from Auburn. We got Larry Miles, wide receiver out of Orlando Jones. He picks Nebraska, one of the best slot receivers in the country, no doubt about it. And Duke gets Wyrick Pettis out of Crest High School in Shelby, North Carolina, longstanding tradition-rich program in that state, 6'1", 175 pounds. He will play for the Duke Blue Devils. And finally, Devarius Surratt out of Crest High School, another kid out of Shelby, North Carolina, 6 foot, 185 pounds. He is going to take his talents to NC State. When I come back, I'm going to talk about a big commitment today and a few other notes about impending commitments and some recruiting rankings. That is next here on the Portal Podcast. Ever manage your money and think you could do it a little bit better, maybe managing it a little bit easier? With Monarch Money, it can be. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building your wealth. For anybody that's like me, you probably spend too much on some luxury items or do it in spurts when you're traveling, whatever it is. Me, it's when I'm traveling to follow recruiting and going to camps and stuff like Under Armour Future 50 or whatever it is. But with Monarch Money, you can kind of figure out what you're doing and how to save money under one app. It's a good way to save cash and to build your savings. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Thank you once again for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to get all your latest recruiting news. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got commitments. I'm getting ready to go to a commitment ceremony I'm going to talk about here in a moment. And there are several more that are coming up. Just as an overview here, these kids, it's not binding until December. But again, as I opened up with on the show, right now is when most of the kids are going to make their decisions. Recruiting is done in terms of the official visits. We're in a dead period. A few kids will take visits and make decisions sometime in the fall or flip their decisions. Derek Cooper has pushed back his announcement date, he did have a July 12th. He had told me that last week. He's the 5-star running back out of Chaminade, Madonna, down in South Florida. Some think it's Miami, some think it's Georgia, some think it's another school. But whatever the case may be, just note this is very fluid, but there are a lot of decisions coming up today through the end of the weekend. It's going to be crazy. And July 12th, the week from Saturday, is another massive day for a lot of kids to make their decisions. Just today, we got Kendall Gerbell at Fort Myers High, and he's a defensive tackle, coveted Texas or Florida is where I expect him to go. We'll see where that ends up. Noah Clark, another massive defensive lineman. He's a kid out of Durham, North Carolina. Is it NC State? Is it one of the other programs in state, or is he going to leave? We got Cedarian Morgan, the kid that I'm going to go see his decision. Everybody expects him to pick Bama. I do as well. We'll see what happens. That's today. And that's just the beginning of the list. Like Trenton Henderson's going to commit today. That one might surprise some people from what I've heard. Devin Jackson's going to make his decision coming up here pretty quick. We've got a bunch of commitments to talk about. I'll probably do a late night show with some of these, but just overall note, this is very fluid. There could be somebody that I was told in the last 24 hours where they're going, and I know where some kids are expecting to go, and then they go to the podium and announce something different. That's happened this year already. These situations are very fluid. NIL's involved. There's a lot of pressure for these kids to sometimes stay home or follow their father where they played. There's a lot of stuff going on. Recruiting is more complex than ever by a million miles. Even when I get a kid telling me what he's going to do, sometimes they don't. Like face-to-face conversations. It can go sideways from that original conversation really quick. And sometimes it's a legit reason. Coaching change, NIL, whatever it may be. There's a lot going on. So whatever happens, whether your school gets a kid or doesn't, remember, this is their life. This is their decision. Don't be that guy that comments. Don't send them DMs. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't be that person. It's not a good look, and it's not going to help your school in the future. I can assure you, parents, watch. It matters. With that, again, I'll probably have another show later tonight to discuss what's going on from today's commitments. I'm going to talk about Cedarian Morgan, why I think he has a long-term NFL future, all those things and more later tonight here on the Portal Podcast. So please like and subscribe and share this podcast and leave us a 5-star review on Apple and anywhere else you download. We will see you again soon on the Portal Podcast.